Have you ever had one of those days, those moments, those seasons in your life where it was just difficult to see God, where it seemed like He was very far away from you? Oh, on the one hand, you knew that He was there, but with the way that things were going, you just didn't really know what He was doing or what He was up to. And we know that sometimes we bring those difficulties, those challenging seasons upon ourselves when we're stuck in the middle of some challenges and difficulties and hardships that come our way, and then we immediately turn to ourselves and say, what is it that I can do to handle this? How can I get myself out of this? What can I do to fix this mess that I'm found in? And yet we know that that's not really the answer, that the Lord is the answer. And that's kind of the foundation for the National Youth Gathering, as they use Psalm 46 as the foundation for the theme, Real Present God. Over the course of this week that some 20,000 plus youth spent together, they spent a great deal of time dissecting that passage, Psalm 46, which assured them and all of us that God is indeed very real, that He is present in all of our lives, and that He is in fact God who is able to do things bigger and bolder than anything we could ever imagine or even hope for. And that's why we as a congregation have truly been blessed to have someone like Josh Gherkin to work with our youth to prepare them for this event. And this event, it's every 3 years. And that was involved in all of those sales that Josh would put together, in the Easter breakfasts that you donated for, and so many other events, the musical that was done to help raise funds for this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Josh Gherkin, our Director of Christian Education, and have him kind of set the stage and share with you and introduce the different video clips and the different presentations done by youth of the congregation to share their story with that. And so again, we are truly blessed to have Josh as part of our congregation, who is so committed to the youth to help make them see the hope that is found in Christ. So Josh.
I will confess a little bit, I feel a little nervous up here, mainly because I'm wearing jeans at the 7:45 service. So hopefully you guys can forgive us or anything. But this is we wanted to represent what we wear, and the youth are wearing their shirts and things. And actually, after the service, we actually created our shirts. So we're actually going to show you how we actually make the shirts and stuff. So if you yourself wanted to have one made, you can give the shirt to us with a little donation. That'll be a great way for you to be a part of it too. The National Youth Gathering planning begins 2 years before. You wouldn't think that, but it does. When it begins, when they announce we already know where the city is going to be for the next one, but 2 years, they give us the date, they give us a little more information, and we begin with our musical. And through your support with the musical, we're able to raise that money. To attend the National Youth Gathering, it's around $1,000 an individual, and many youth in our community could not afford that. And through your support, through the musical, through your just gifts that you give us, through the Easter breakfast and everything, we are able to diminish those costs for the kids, and how thankful we are for all of that. And the theme that we have for this year's gathering was Real Present God. And in dealing with youth, there is nothing more really true than real and present. Today, when you turn on the news, do we even have any idea what's true and what's fake? We don't. We have no idea what's true, what's fake. There are filters that make you older. There are filters that make you, look like a dog or younger. There are filters that change everything. So we have no idea what truth is, what's real. And for us to know that we have a real God is true. And even for all of us, when we go through the rough times in life, we doubt that God is there, just a little bit. And for youth, when they ride those highs and the lows, and we all see them, for them to know that even in those lows, that God is there is a key. And so this theme really hit the youth very hard, understanding that God is real, not fake. God has not abandoned them. He's not sitting up in the sidelines. He is present with you each and every time. So the video that we're going to show next, to quote some of the youth, it was like a hype video that you would show before a basketball game or you would show before a big sporting event to kind of get into it. And so during that video, the individual is going to sit there and there are going to be words that pop up that say real, present, God. And on there, during the gathering, the kids would actually, on their own, start yelling out the words real, present, God, when it would come up on there. And it's a reading of Psalm 46, as you guys will have known. After that, Blake Musshel will be standing up here and he'll be sharing his experience with the gathering. We're blessed to have Blake go on the gathering because this was his second gathering. So we're going to have that video right now.
God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. Real, present God. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. Real, present God. The nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Real, present God. Come. Behold, the works of the Lord, how he has brought desolations on the earth. He makes war cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots with fire. Real, present God. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Real, present God. Real, present God. Real, present God.
Already at the 2016 National Youth Gathering, I knew that I was going to go to the 2019 National Youth Gathering as well. There was not a doubt in my mind. My faith grew so much last time that it really was no-brainer to go again. All the way back when we were rehearsing the musical, I knew all that hard work and time would pay off, because a National Youth Gathering truly is a life-changing event. I was lucky enough to be able to go twice. First with my father to New Orleans, Louisiana, and then this past summer to Minneapolis, Minnesota with my mother. So for the next National Youth Gathering, I think that they both should probably go to keep an eye on my brother. Going into this youth gathering, I kind of already knew what to expect. As the week went on, God became even more real for me, and I really felt his presence. God's presence was really easy to feel during the mass event when all of the 22,000 people that were there sang together. The Toby Mac concert was amazing. The way he tied God's message into his songs and encouraged all 22,000 people together was an amazing experience. If you get the chance to go, I highly encourage you to take it. At the National Youth Gathering, you are able to choose different speakers. A few of my favorite speakers included Scott Geiger and his Bible study, where he did a fantastic job of tying the story of God with the present-day world. The second one was I Doubt It with Jake and Christy Yeomans. These two speakers talked about working through doubt and how it is natural and an important part of a journey through faith. Mr. and Mrs. Yeomans did a very good job of being very personal with their audience and open with us too. They definitely made you feel welcome and did a great job of helping to reassure us in our faith life as well. As you just heard Psalm 46 on that video that they shared with us at the gathering, I look back and I reflect upon what the verse now means to me. I know that God is with me no matter what, no matter where I go and whatever I'm doing, and whatever is going on in the world and in my life. God is real, God is present, and God is in control. That will never change. As the verse says, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountain tremble as it swells, which to me means things will get tough, yet God is never gone. God is real, and God is present in my life, and He is always there to help comfort and guide me. As I graduated high school this past year, and now going to college, I know no matter what, God is with me, God is real in my life, and God cares. Through your support and everything that you guys contribute to the church, it makes it possible for all of us to go. And it makes it possible for us to become closer with God and enjoy memorable experiences like these. So thank you to my parents for sharing those experiences with me. Thank you to the members of the church for making it possible. Thank you to the pastors for all they do. And most of all, thank you, Josh, for all the hard work that he puts in for the youth here, and encourage me, along with many others, to continue to go on these gatherings and to be able to grow our faith in God. Thank you.
I really do think that would be a great idea, Blake, that your mom and dad both go to the next gathering, because I'm a little worried about Seth. No. Blake is a tremendous kid, and very thankful for him. He mentioned Jake and Chrissy Yeomans. They're actually friends of mine, and when our youth would go, they could pick him out very quickly. Jake, you would like him. He is a Cleveland Browns fan through and through, no matter what. So just a great experience to hear all those speakers. The next video that you're going to show, we cut it down. It originally was 6 minutes, but Josh was able to cut it down. Isn't it just amazing when we look out and see the sunsets and the world that we have? Florence Dealman was sharing pictures this week in the office of her trip up to Canada, and you could see the mountains and how clear the water was, where it looked like there was two mountains. Isn't it great that we have God that created such an amazing world? And in this video, it kind of highlights that and puts a twist on it. So be ready for the twist. And after that, we actually will be having, is it Josh or Will? Who's next? Josh Gaffney will be the one up there. If you need a picture of commitment, this is Josh. I'm not trying to embarrass him. His front tire on his bike went out, and he ran half a mile while carrying his bike to get here this morning. Don't worry, we'll give him a ride home and his bike and get the tire fixed. But I was a little worried. I'm like, man, he's always here, Pastor. And then he comes sweating. I'm like, what happened? Oh, my bike front tire. And so I think that shows you some of the commitment we have with our youth here, especially with Josh and everything like that. So, but right now we'll have that video. Thank you.
Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. God spoke into the void, and the earth, sun, and universe was created. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. God shaped the mountains of the earth, the tallest peak standing majestic against the sky. The snow-covered tips reaching toward the ether are a monument to your power. We gaze in wonder at their heights. Your majesty pronounced by your power. The God who created the mountains also created Carl.
Oh, hello. Woo! That's bright. Oh, I gotta fix my contact. Is that my cue? What's my line? Hey, I'm Carl.
God filled the depths of the earth with oceans. Oceans so deep that humans have not seen all the wonders that they hold. The sea swirls with fantastic creatures of awe and fear. From schools of fish crossing the depths to the ferocious power of the great white shark, we see your hand in it all. The God who created these oceans also created Carl.
I came in 4th in my fantasy football league this year. There were 4 teams. Before I even start this speech, I would just like to let you know I'm still under the effects of being out of shape and trying to run half a mile with a bike behind my back. So if you know if that happens, just bear with me. I'm like, ugh. Okay. I was a last-minute addition to the National Youth Gathering. I was supposed to go run in Australia for the United States, and I was so ready to run. Then some health issues came up, and I was really upset that I wasn't able to go. Then Josh mentioned the National Youth Gathering, and from that moment on, I knew that God was in control and that I should be going to the National Youth Gathering. There was not a single moment of the gathering that I did not love. I think I met people from literally every state and kept trying to find the 6 people from Bulgaria, but never did. At the National Youth Gathering, people will walk around with signs that said free hugs. How awesome is that? Josh would not let me make my own sign, but I wanted to share this with you. Free hugs. I give the best hugs out there, all right, people? So I hope to see you all after service for some free hugs. At the National Youth Gathering, everyone was so nice, so warm in how they treated me, and I felt accepted and loved. The music throughout the gathering was amazing. It was uplifting, encouraging, and just awesome. Toby Mac was everything and more than I thought he could be. The passion that he sang with and praised God just inspired me to go out with the same vigor and praise God using my own talents. I attended speakers every day, even when I didn't feel like it, because I didn't know what I was doing. And I have to say this, just to sum it all up, each speaker in any way, shape, or form impacted me. And I have to share this with you all because the health issue I suffer with is an unidentified seizure disorder, which is why I couldn't go and race in Australia. And the third night, during the Mass, I had a seizure. And usually when I have seizures, I forget how to speak. That's the first sign of me seizing, so I forgot how to speak. Half the body gets numb on my left side. And since this reason, I had to text Josh, and I'm gonna put him up here on the spot. I texted Josh that I was not able to talk. Do you not know how fast he came to me? He was probably like back there up in the stands, and he was there, and I was like, whoa, where'd you come from? And then he walks me back, and I'm freaking out because I forget how to speak. My mind is going nuts because I forgot who I am. I forgot who he was. I forgot what was that. It literally creates a blank slate for me, and I don't think he gets enough recognition, but I've never, ever been better except for when Josh prayed for me. Because whenever I do have a seizure, and when those things happen, I don't get prayed for during those seizures. I get prayed for after the seizure or before the seizure, never during the time of the seizure. And I want to thank Josh for that. Even though Josh isn't a speaker, he's a speaker to me, and it was truly a blessing. I didn't even know who was holding my hand for the moment. And then after we got done praying, I knew who I was and I knew where I was. And I have to thank Josh because he just deserves it. He does. Thank you, Josh. And Josh asked us, why should others attend a national youth gathering? Why? Here's what I wrote down. Who would want to be a part of God's family with 20,000 others? Who? Who want to experience God something new? Want to experience a different way to worship? Who would want to feel God's love? I mean, who? It is a great way to connect with your brothers and sisters, not just free hugs, but as one in Christ. You get to learn so much from the mass events, the speakers, the small groups, the music, and all that just help your faith grow. When you're down there, you also get to represent God and your church to everyone you see. I am proud that I was able to go down there to represent Napoleon and St. Paul. I look back to this now, And I recall when I was asked by Erica, are you excited to come with us? And me being me, because I just got denied the little right to race in Australia, I said no. I wasn't thinking about God. I wasn't thinking about my family. I wasn't thinking about my health. I wasn't thinking about anything except for how the biggest opportunity in my life gets wasted because of a health issue. I focused on just how bad it felt, how embarrassed and how humiliated and pitied I was. And then, me, I was selfish. And now I look back and I start to wonder, what would happen if I didn't go? What would happen to me now? I told myself I probably wouldn't be here right now, out of breath in front of you giving this speech. I probably would still be in the hospital getting tested on. I probably wouldn't even have gotten closer in my faith with God. And to say that, I just want to thank everyone in Napoleon and St. Paul Lutheran for blessing me with this trip. Thank you.
We work with the kids to get the scripts going. Josh went off script there a little bit, Josh. It's okay. I was like 90 feet away talking to a former classmate, and I got that text, and I think I did run faster than I had ran before, but we're very blessed that the National Youth Gathering is so well organized in the fact that when something happens, I carry around a 3-inch binder. All the kids have medical kits and everything, and we knew exactly what to do. We took them to someone who wearing a yellow shirt who was an EMT. We took back, we did this, and by the end of the night, he was fine. Then Josh just had to hang out with me the rest of the weekend. And I made sure he drank lots of water and ate food and, sat there when he talked to lots of girls and got lots of free hugs. So Josh was a great addition to that trip. And as you can see, he's very composed. He actually does speech team and does exceptionally well on that. And we watched that video of Carl and how great it is to realize that we were made by God. The same God who creates the sunsets created us, and we are the pinnacle of his creation, and how great that is. So next time you see a sunset, I want you to remember that God made you better than that sunset in his eyes, and how great that is for kids to remember. The next video we're going to show was Jason Seaman. I've been to quite a few gatherings since 1998, and he was a speaker that kind of really shocked us. There were moments where he would be like, whoa. In fact, Pastor Marcia said, oh, I thought he looks like this person, then he finds out this, and not to try to give too much away, but he is an individual that when the worst thing could have happened in his school, he stepped up and stopped it, and he understood what it means to be a real present God. So we're going to share that clip, and then after that clip, we're going to have Will come up here and share a little bit more about his gathering experience.
But I will not face them alone. And you don't have to face them alone. Whether it's joy, happiness, fear, anxiety, depression, God is with us through the ups and the downs. God is with us whether you're on top of the world or in my case, literally just got shot. We don't face it alone. Jesus died on the cross so we don't have to be alone. That's right. So as I go on, I'm going to celebrate those blessings. And when those difficulties come, which they undoubtedly will for me and for all of you, I encourage you to do what I will do. And I will keep Psalm 46 in the forefront of my mind. He is your refuge and strength. He always has been, and he always will be.
In high school, we are still able to have classes with our St. Paul classmates. At the same time, it is not the same as it was here, being around them all the time and beginning our day with religion. When you attend a national youth gathering, you get to be around your friends and family from St. Paul, and most importantly, we get to start each day with the focus on God. The National Youth Gathering allowed me to get back to my roots, and I am so thankful for that as I begin my junior year. The mass events at US Bank Stadium were just awesome. Knowing that we were worshiping with thousands of other Christians was so moving and humbling. Just watching and listening to everyone worshiping is an experience that I will carry with me forever. There were amazing speakers at each mass event. For me, the most moving speaker was Jason Seaman, who you all just heard. He began as a 5-star Division I football prospect, then an unexpected injury derailed his plans, yet though he knew that God was in control. After overcoming the injury and still being able to play college football, he became a science teacher where he loved his students. One day, a student came in with a gun, and Mr. Seaman leapt into action and protected his students. After being shot multiple times and defending his students, he shared how he felt and knew that God was with him. I remember it being so quiet that you could hear a pin drop as he shared his story. Hearing Jason's story, thinking you can overcome anything with all of his injuries because 6 months before he spoke, he was shot. Knowing that confirmed to me that God is real and present in my life. At the National Youth Gathering, you are surrounded by people from across the country and even the world. I met people from Kansas, Nebraska, Florida, Wisconsin, and Illinois. Everyone I met was so nice, energetic, and lively. It was easy to talk to them because I knew we were all here for the same reason, which was proclaiming our faith. Even though we are many miles apart, through social media, we were able to stay in touch. Without going to the National Youth Gathering, I would never have been able to meet some awesome new friends. In 2022, at the next youth gathering, I will be a sophomore in college. Don't cry too much thinking about it, Mom. Even though I cannot go as a participant, I might go as a volunteer. Another speaker that touched my life was Dr. Micah Parker, where he shared his story of trusting in God and planning when things in your life do not go the way you want. Dr. Parker lost his wife at a very young age, and instead of getting bitter and upset at God for his wife's death, Dr. Parker leaned into God and trusted in him even more. There were tough moments for Dr. Parker, yet the more he trusted in God, the more he was able to overcome what was going on in life. Dr. Parker is now a Division I athletic director and reminded us also that as athletes, we represent God on the field of play at all times. Most of us will not be Division I athletes, but that does not mean we should not love our sports we play. Give it everything we have and compete using the gifts God has given us. I will take Dr. Parker's messages with me long after the National Youth Gathering, and I hope to trust in God in all things. I would like to thank all of St. Paul and my family for support, and I would also like to thank Josh too. Without it, I would not have been able to attend the National Youth Gathering. Without hesitation, I would encourage all youth who have an opportunity to attend the National Youth Gathering because it changed my life, and I know for a fact it can change yours. Thank you.
Those are just 3 snapshots of the impact that the National Youth Gathering has had on individuals who went. And I'll tell you this, each of the 65 participants that went from St. Paul have as great a story as those because we've been impacted. Focusing on the battle hymn of the Reformation, Psalm 46, brings a new twist, and we see how it's still relevant for kids today as it was when it was written many years ago, that God is indeed real, that He is present, that He is the true God of all of our lives. And with that, I kind of want to echo what each of the speakers shared, was the important role that Josh Gherkin plays in our ministry here at St. Paul. He's kind of one of those forgotten staff members here, unless somebody needs something done that they really don't want to do themselves, and oftentimes, why don't you have Josh get the youth to do it? It's a challenge for that, but yet Josh He rolls up his sleeve and does the work, and he is there every single Sunday evening with the junior high and with the senior high and Waffle Wednesday and all sorts of activities, working around the clock with that. And so can't thank him enough. He's always one to, whenever work needs to be done, he's always first in line, say, what do you need? What help do you need? What can I do? How can I help? And so what I'd like to do is have everybody give a chance to show your appreciation for Josh with a nice round of applause for Josh Kirk. It's truly a blessing to be able to work with him. And so after the service, take some time, make sure you talk to each of the individuals back at the table, hear their story. When we do that Bible study, make sure you attend that to hear that from them. So we could go on and on, but again, Psalm 46, highlight that in your Bible, be reminded of our real, present God. To him be the glory. Amen. And now may the peace of God, which far surpasses all understanding, keep your hearts and minds in true faith to life everlasting. Amen. We will now continue to praise our great God by sharing our offerings and our gifts of love with him.